Right, good morning. Today is the 26th of September. We are doing a verse community call specifically around a walkthrough of the latest verse community proposals. And today's session will be a general introduction to the ideas behind the verse mega burn proposals. So there's two of them that are live now that are running from the 25th of September to the 9th of October. So all verse holders are invited to consider those proposals and vote on those proposals with the verse or any other verse related token that you have in your wallet during this period. All right, so we are live streaming on Discord. This session will be recorded and shared on our YouTube and Rebel channel for the rest who are not able to make it. Okay, so when you visit verse vote.verse.bitcoin.com, you will see our community portal for voting on proposals. Right now, there are two proposals that are live. So there's first Megaburn Proposal 1 and first Megaburn Proposal 2 that are live right now. And as you can see, 6 people have voted. So thank you very much for voting. We have 13 days left for the votes. So do hop in here, vote.verse.bitcoin.com to cast your vote on the proposals. So again, today we'll be going through the big ideas around the proposal and what voting means. So what are the considerations behind each proposal, and what does it mean when you vote yes or no? so here we go. So for verse Megaburn Proposal 1, we start with an introduction of the current state of verse. So and when I talk about verse, I can mean the token, so capital VRSE verse, and the ecosystem, the verse ecosystem. So do take that into context as when I mentioned verse, right? So we have been around for a long time. So the verse token was minted December 2022, and today's 2025. So around 3 years worth of work has took place for this project. But we are seeing that the verse price has not gone up to expected levels. Right? We have received a lot of feedback that there is very low confidence in the excess supply of verse. So when we say supply, it means like when the token was minted back then in December 2022, we minted around 210 billion verse tokens. But not all of those tokens are in circulation. So around 40%, 50% are in circulation. And the rest are still locked up in the contract that will unlock over time. All right. So once those tokens unlock, there will be a lot of supply coming in to the market. A lot of verse tokens coming into the public market. And as you know, we went through that on our previous calls, where there's a lot of supply and very little demand for it, the price goes down. Conversely, if there's very little supply and very high demand for it, the price may go up, right? So it's just what economics 101. So today we have an excess supply. So that is the big idea that started the first Make It Burn initiative. Like, faced with this problem, how may we change things such that we can have a better supply to demand ratio? Right? What kind of supply can we reduce? And how do we change the tokenomics of the verse token? Like, how do we change it such that change the supply and demand such that it is more attractive in terms of it could be like 50-50 supply demand. That would be very attractive. Right now it's like a lot of supply and very little demand. It's very little things to do with verse. So even though with establish some utility, there is always more utility that we can establish for Verse, more things to do with Verse, which we haven't got there yet, and we are taking steps towards that. Right. So the question that again we will ask ourselves is, what can we burn such that the excess supply is removed from the market? Okay, so that is the start of the Verse Mega Burn initiative. Okay. So starting from the problem, so that was the problem, and the proposal is to burn a huge amount of it right now, or at least commit to burning a huge amount of it over the entire time that the token unlocks. So in the Verse Mega Burn initiative, we will commit around 38% to 42% of the total Verse supply to be burnt. And this will come from the development fund and the team fund over a period of 4 years. So the Verse tokens are still being unlocked, and those will be committed to be burned. So once they unlock, we will burn it, no questions asked, and this will happen for the remaining period that the token unlocks, which is 4 years from now. We do have some tokens on hand that are available to be burned immediately, so that's about 15 to 17% of the entire Verse supply that we can burn between September to December 2025. And of course, all of this is subject to community approval, and that's why we are having these two proposals come out. So the first proposal is related to burning of the development fund, the unspent and vesting amounts of the development fund. So unspent meaning what we have on hand now, the vesting meaning what is being unlocked over time for the next 4 years. So once you vote yes on this proposal 1, you'll be saying yes, go and burn whatever you have on hand from the development fund right now, and burn everything else for the next 4 years. So that is a major contribution to this 38 to 42% amount. A smaller contribution to the amount is the team fund. So the team fund, we do have some proportion of that. I will go into details later, but it does contribute to the top level 38% to 42%. And again, similarly, we do have some unspent amount in the team fund that we can commit to burning, and the tokens that are meant for team incentives that are still locked, we can also commit that to burn. Right? And of course, all of this will be subject to community approval. So again, two proposals. The first related to burning the tokens that are locked and on hand right now from the development fund. The second proposal to burn whatever is locked and on hand on the team fund. Okay. So some background around how it all started. So why do we have the development fund and the team fund in the first place? So that's a big question. When Verse launched in December 2022, right, we minted 210 billion Verse tokens. 49% of that was allocated to this development fund and team fund. Right? Let me scroll down to this chart. Right, you see here, when we first started, and to this date, this is the current composition of what was allocated. So we see 34%, the blue portion. This was allocated to the development fund. Basically, it funds building anything related to infrastructure, to dApps, to utility of the Verse token, right? Funding of our very early integrations with other partners, infrastructure for the Verse decentralized exchange. So all of that went into all of that was allocated for the development fund. When we first minted the token. The team fund, which is in red, so this is 15% as originally allocated. So these are meant for incentives for the team. So if they had, if they worked really hard, if they put in very impactful work, so they will be rewarded accordingly. So this was allocated of all the tokens minted in December 2022. 15% of them were allocated to team incentives. Right, that we have sale A, which is in purple, 10%, sale B, 6%, and 35% is for was allocated to ecosystem incentives. So if two proposals pass, so if everyone votes yes, or if the majority votes yes on these proposals, the portions in red, so the team fund and the development fund in blue, will be burnt. All right, or at least committed to be burnt. So basically, around 38 to 42% of the total supply will vanish. So we are about 200. It'll be about 100 plus billion Verse tokens after the burn. The ecosystem incentives fund will remain. So this was designed to reward users, everyday users, not the team, not any of the sale A or sale B. So these were meant for everyday users to onboard onto the Bitcoin.com and Verse ecosystem, right? And many of you who are listening are part of that wave of rewards that we have created and have been giving out. And thank you so much for being with us on this journey. So the Verse token that you receive comes from the ecosystem incentives fund, right? And we are maintaining that. So this ecosystem incentives fund of 35% will not be touched. At least we will not be burnt we're not proposing to be burnt in these two proposals. These will be used for growth, for further growing our ecosystems. Right. So after the burn, this is what the composition will look like. So development fund and team fund disappears. We are left with ecosystem incentives, sale A and sale B buyers only. So basically, everything will be in public hands. Okay, so that's the background of how the composition was allocated. Right. So from December 2022 to today, the team has been working really hard, and we've built a very strong foundation for Bitcoin.com's decentralized part of the business, the Verse ecosystem. And the Verse ecosystem is a very easy way to get into DeFi. It's one of the easiest ways you can swap from one token to another token across chains. So we solved that multi-chain problem. How do you connect a wallet? For a new user, it's not easy to understand the concept of chains, understand the concept of gas across chains. So we made that very easy on verse.bitcoin.com. Right. And we've also launched several dApps, several collaborations with partners. We've also launched the big feature, which is rewards in the Bitcoin.com self-custodial wallet. And we've seen this impact come in the last year alone. So previously very flat growth, but last year alone we just shot up 30 million plus downloads from mobile and web accounts, mobile store and web accounts. We've tripled the monthly active users, and it's been a really exciting journey in the last year. All right, I think this chart tells it all down below. So it's really exciting to see this kind of growth. So December, I know we're kind of flat from December 2022. We've been crunching and building all the core infrastructure, all the early verse steps, and that just accelerated in the last year alone. And we've always been hovering around 20k plus token holders, but now we're over a 300k token holders on both Verse and Polygon. All right, so it's very exciting growth. It's not flat anymore. It's the question now is, how do we maintain this trajectory, and how do we make it exciting for even the folks who came in the very early stage, those who supported us from the start? Like, how do we make it still exciting for them to be part of the community, even though we've got all of these new folks in too? Right. So the impact, you can read yourself. I won't go into detail, but this is the biggest chart of to demonstrate impact, which is a very exciting growth. Right, and previously we didn't have Bitcoin.com didn't have a decentralized part of the ecosystem, and now we have it with the Verse ecosystem. Right? Fully decentralized, you can trade permissionlessly across multiple chains. It's very well integrated into the Bitcoin.com self-custodial wallet through the Web3 Explorer. We've even got a Verse card that has gone out. We're supporting around $1 million worth of transactions to date from the Verse card, so it's a very impressive number. Just checking the chat. Thank you for joining, Natsumi. Feel free to use the chat to drop any questions that you have. I'm just running through the Verse proposals 1 and 2. All right, so that's the impact. This is the biggest chart. If you want to condense all the impact into one visual, this would be it. All right. And the good news is that we've not used a lot of the development fund to create this impact. So to date, we've only spent around 3% of the development fund. So this was spent on things like infrastructure, partners, integration with partners. But there's a very large majority of 96.5% Verse that is untouched from the development fund. So this proposal 1 is proposing to burn all the available and unlocked. So this is the one that we have on hand, 35%, around 35% of the development fund that we have on hand is not being used, it's not going to be used, so we might as well burn it. And there is a bigger portion of about 60% of the development fund that is still unlocking over time, still vesting over time. And we are committing to burn all of this as it unlocks over the next 4 years. So if everyone votes yes on this proposal, we will commit both what's available on hand today and what's available that is still vesting to be burnt in the Verse Mega Burn. All right. So basically, that's the gist of proposal 1, burning what's on hand and available. Okay, so in total, that will be around 68 billion Verse that is currently available on hand that we can claim, and also future vesting. We can burn an immediate 13% of the total Verse tokens. So that is what's available on hand right now. I think that, yeah. Let me double check this number. I think okay, sorry. So 13.1% is what we can burn from September to December 2025. So that's what we can burn immediately. And that represents, so this 21.5 billion Verse represents 13% of the total Verse supply. that we can burn immediately. Okay, so the big message here that we want to communicate is that we believe that the foundations for the Verse ecosystem uh, is sufficient enough for us to not utilize the development fund. We have been very prudent in using the development fund, so we have not been excessively spending everything. And I think this is also very important to share. Like whenever we talk about the development fund as a team, we are always saying, okay, if we do this expenditure, what would happen to the market? Like all of, if we are to spend some amount for development fund, all of that is going to a partner, and that partner is going to sell, right? Because they need the money to fund their integration and fund their staff. So we've always been considering like if we spend from development fund, it goes to a partner. The partner is going to sell, price is going to go down. So that has held us back a little on why we need to be so prudent to consider all of these aspects before spending. And because of these constraints, we have, I would say, optimized the way we use the development fund. So making every verse dollar that goes out from the development fund really worth it, and limiting the impact of our spend and also impact on the supply in the market. So I think the story would have been very bad if you say, okay, I spent about 90% of the development fund and we're going to put 10, right? So that is just blasting supply into the market, which is not a good story. But I think this shows how much consideration that went through when we think about spending from the development fund. So only 3.5%, and we achieved so much over the last 3 years. All right, so those are some considerations. I'm just sharing very openly about the journey that we went through to arrive at these conclusions for the proposal. So again, for proposal 1, if you are voting yes, you are saying yes, commit the remaining unutilized portion of the development fund to be burnt. So that represents 35% of the total supply over the next 4 years. At the time of drafting this proposal, it was around $5 million US dollars. Voting yes also means that we will burn whatever we have on hand from the development fund. So that's about 30% of the total verse supply, and this will be done between September to December 2025. All right, and this is a strong market signal saying the development is complete. Let's focus on reducing the supply to have more confidence in the market. All right, again, alternatively, if you vote no, you are saying preserve the remaining unutilized supply, unutilized development fund. So don't burn the development fund. Maybe we can don't burn all of this. Maybe we can use it in the future. But again, some considerations like when is that future? When is the right time to use the remaining portion? And like we as a community will always ask ourselves like, if we spend this amount, it's going to a partner. Partner is going to sell. Sell means more sell pressure in the market, and price may be affected, right? So if that decision is going to hold us back, we might as well say, let's not use the development fund. Let's burn all of it. All right. So voting no means we're not going to touch any of the development fund. We're not going to burn any of that, and there will be no immediate reduction of supply. Okay. So the pros and cons, I think I've covered most of it on the call. I'll let you read the rest. The voting period started yesterday, 25th of September, and it will conclude on the 9th of October. All right. So check in on proposal 1 go over to vote.first.bitcoin.com. You will see proposals 1 and 2 there. And yeah, just pay attention to the timeline. Okay, so if you're interested in voting for proposal 1, how do you do that? So just simply tap the login button, right? Log in with your preferred wallet. It could be Wallet Connect or any of the popular wallets out there. So if you're using the bitcoin.com self-custodial wallet, you can simply scan the QR code from the in-app scanner that you have, connect a wallet that has some verse on it, right? And vote yes or no on it, right? So it can be, so voting power is calculated by the amount of verse that you hold in your wallet, also the amount of verse that is staked in either a liquidity pool, a verse paired liquidity pool, or verse staking on Ethereum or Polygon, right? So we've considered all of the verse related tokens in the calculating your voting power. So all you need to do is connect your wallet with the tokens that you hold, any verse related token that you hold, and cast your vote yes or no here. All right. So you can see who has casted their vote. So this is a very popular, as of now, it's a very popular proposal. 100% of voters have voted yes, and it's about 18 million worth of voting power that has voted yes. All right, so that is basically how to get access to the proposal, how to cast your vote. All right, and we went through proposal 1. I'm just quickly going to go through proposal 2 because a lot of the information is the same. All right, I think I'll just jump straight into what the team fund is and the big idea behind burning out the team fund. All right, so when we first launched again in December 2022, we said, okay, we're going to allocate 15% of the total verse supply to the team fund. All right, and again, the story is the same. From then to today, we built a strong foundation. We've had a lot of impact. Not only have we been prudent in management of the development fund, so development fund we've only spent 3%, but also the team fund, we've been also very careful with incentives for distributing incentives for the team fund, right? So only 44% of the team fund has been utilized to date. All right, so going down to the chart again. Okay, so this is the team fund composition as of today. So we've achieved this impact, also all of this foundational work and all of this growth. We've achieved all of this with a very prudent use of the team incentives fund. So only 44% has been allocated. So allocated meaning they are committed to be distributed to the team fund, to team members over some time through a contract. So it could be a streaming contract on Sabelia or unstaking or staking contract that members can withdraw out of. Right, and these this is only 44%, so we still have around 7 billion or 24% of the team fund that is available on hand. We have not touched this, and we have about 34% of the team fund that is still unlocking over time, and we have not committed to touching this too. So the proposal number 2 is relating to these orange and blue aspects. So we're saying, okay, let's also try to reduce the verse supply by looking into a team fund, seeing what's available, and burning that too. Okay, so that's about 9. So this 9 billion verse plus 7.6 billion verse that we can burn over the next 4 years. All right. So in short, if you vote yes, you are saying yes, commit all of that to be burned over the next 4 years. This is not that big a contributor as compared to the development fund. So it's only 9% of the total world supply. And that represents about $1 million US worth of value as of drafting. So immediately we can burn about 3% of the total world supply from September to December 2025. So when you vote yes, you are saying yes to this point too. Like yes, burn all of that 9% of total world supply from the team fund, and also about 3.9% between September to December. So 3.9% is the blue that we can burn from September to December, and orange is what we will burn in the next 4 years. Okay. So the message is that we want to communicate when you vote yes is that the team doesn't need the future incentives, right? Doesn't need the orange, doesn't need the blue portions anymore. And we're totally covered by what's allocated to us from the red, because that will still continue unlocking for the committed period of time. Right? So none of us receive like a lump sum amount. Right? So it's always unlocking over time. And that is enough for us. Right? So we are committed beyond future incentives. We what is allocated to us, it's fine. We will not ask for more, and that is we are already incentivized through what we are allocated with for the future. All right. Conversely, if you vote no, you're saying to preserve the remaining unutilized team fund. So there will be no first supply reduction from the team fund. And it can be argued that yes, 7 billion, 9 billion is not a lot. But I think every spare verse that's unutilized should be burned. I mean, to increase that impact, increase that top level number of how much we can burn over time. Right. Again, trying to reduce supply as much as we can. Okay, so pros and cons, I will leave you to read on your own. Again, the proposal has the same voting window. Started yesterday, 25th of September. It will run until 9th of October. So similarly, hop into proposal 2, log in with your preferred wallet. Hopefully it's the Bitcoin.com self-custodial wallet. All right, so scan it and then cast your vote, yes or no. Okay, so again, a reminder, if you need to ask questions, you can do it in the chats. But there's also a very specific Google form that I've created so that everyone can submit their questions and feedback through the form, and I will get it immediately. I will get an email on it. And if you wish, I can respond to you directly and address your feedback, questions, or concerns. All right. So I would encourage everyone to use that form, because I will personally go through all of the questions and feedback that I receive in the form. In Telegram, it's a long chat. I may miss one or two, and I may not check often. So the form is the best way to submit questions, comments, or feedback regarding the proposals. And I will consolidate all the questions and generalize the responses and then share it with the community. Okay, so that concludes my sharing for today. We've gone through the first proposals 1 and 2, the big ideas around it. We've gone through how to vote and what voting yes or no means. And what you can do to follow up on the vote. All right, Natsumi, thank you very much for joining on Discord. Really appreciate your time here. So this session will be recorded for sharing on YouTube and our Rumble channel. So you can always hop in there to look at our past progress, like check out the notes and plans videos. So on those notes and plan sessions, I talk about a recap of what we did in the last few months and what's going on into the future. So if you missed some of the activities, if you haven't been active lately, the notes and plans calls are the best touch point for you to catch up on what's going on in the Verse ecosystem. There's also the Verse public Telegram group, which is very active right now. So thank you everyone who's bringing the positive vibes, helping each other out in the Verse Telegram group. Really appreciate everyone there. There's also the exclusive Verse Lounge. It's a closed Telegram group with a higher bar of entry. So check that out at guild.xyz/verse. So that's where all the deep conversations happen. It's a lot quieter. It's a lot more serious in discussion. So if you would like to participate in the serious discussions, we ask very tough questions in there, and of course you'll get my full attention there most of the time. So I try to respond as much as I can, as fast as I can to in the Verse Lounge Telegram group. So join me there if you want to experience that exclusive side of things. And okay. Oh yes, there is a Verse Scratcher scavenger hunt. All right, that's taking place at 6 a.m. UTC. 6 a.m. UTC today. That's where we all get together as a community to solve some questions in order to get some Verse Scratchers as reward. So join us there at 6 a.m. UTC. And yeah, we'll be also announcing our role model awards for the week. So if you have been bringing the positive vibes, helping each other out in the community, the Verse public Telegram group, you'll be rewarded for your efforts. So again, as closing, thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate everyone's time and reviewing this call. So I'll see you in the next session, Friday, midnight UTC. That's where we have all our regular Verse community calls. And again, why are we doing all of this? We believe Bitcoin and crypto will be used by everyone around the world one day. And we are here to make it easy, fun, and rewarding for everyone. All right. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.